off to the kind of start he wanted. Second game as well, but he managed to turn it around, and he managed to show that he can basically play on equal terms in a time scramble against Magnus. Unfortunately, that's still not enough. You need to put the finishing touches on a game like that, and Magnus rewards himself with a bite of what seems to be Thai food. I can feel like that's some sort of curry, but not the Steph variety.
No, Magnus looking more like a golfer than a basketball player right now, with the baseball cap and the Hawaiian shirt. He's making me hungry. We've been commentating for so many.
Hungry too. I've got some food in the fridge, but it will have to wait until after this fascinating match. We've got another anti-Berlin. I feel, Robert, in the early going, that particularly when Magnus is white and Vidit is black, we might be getting a lot of Rui Lopez's. Magnus doesn't like to vary his opening choices unless he truly feels that a change is well warranted.
And thus far, he has a 1-point lead. Even his game with the black pieces, despite Vidit playing nicely and getting advantage, the advantage was never so huge. Maybe there was a moment where there was a winning edge just because of the time scramble. But look at this position. This is very Magnus-esque. It's just a closed maneuvering position. And Vidit, in the first game, he struggled when the queens came off the board. It was a weakness in his camp that he couldn't defend adequately. And here in game 3, Vidit's opening, I think, a success once more.
Anybody who watches high-level chess semi-regularly should know that this can also happen out of an Italian, this type of structure, maybe even this exact position. There's a lot of intersection in recent years between the Italian and the Rui Lopez because of the prevalence of this early D3 in most Rui Lopez lines, both against the Berlin and against the main line A6. Looks like an equal position to me. There's no reason that black is worse here. He's gotten his knight to the correct square on G6. He has a very solid center, but now he has to decide whether or not to strike at the center further with the move D5. This move can be very hard to evaluate.
And D5 is on the board, so what do you call it? The pawn box in the center, where they're all looking at each other, and now this middle of the board is disappearing. And can white, I was going to say, could white throw in bishop takes G6, and that's exactly why black pushed E4.
Now, D6 is Magnus's idea, keeping black's pawn structure disjointed, but it comes at a great cost. It allows black a free bishop-queen battery aiming at H2 and forcing white's knight to remain tied down on F1. This is a really scary position for white, and I think Vidit could bring his bishop out to F5, and he does. Now, black's got these ideas of queen D7, bishop takes H3 as well.
That's really important, because knight C4 for white, kicking the queen back to D7, and then a move like knight E3, that's quite tempting. But as you're highlighting, bishop takes H3, that might just completely obliterate white's defensive resources, and the king will be wide open for a menacing attack. I think we're seeing this.
hitting the pawn on e4. And what now? Does he play a slow move like rook d1? We should also point out the time situation. Magnus under a minute. So still pretty decent winning chances, I think, for Vidit. But looks like Magnus is the one improving his position.
It's important that you put out rook e rather than a to d1. Normally you put out rooks to the center, but black has a4, maybe followed by a3 if the a1 rook is out of there. So I do think that rook e to d1, that is the precise choice. a4 still looks tempting for me, from Vidit's side of things. And look at the clock. Vidit is up a minute and a half.
Magnus basically burning the rest of his time trying to find the right setup. He does go rook a to d1, and he does allow a4, and it is on the board. And what does he have in mind against a3?
I don't think he wants to play b3, but in order to keep his queenside pawns, he may have to.
First of all, Vidit might refrain from a3, and he does. He instead tries to contest the d-file. That leads to a trade of rooks. And Magnus using some tactics here to win the pawn back.
Okay, can't Vidit just swap on e4, and then take on e4, swap on b6, rook take d4, and then there's rook d1 or rook d2, and white's king is not the safest piece.
Absolutely not, and the b2 pawn is not the safest pawn.
We're seeing just
this is borderline losing, but knowing Magnus, he's going to find some way to activate his own bishop and get it to f7 before you know it.
Yeah, that's the point. Is that the black rook leaves the 8th rank, white gets a rook e8 check, bishop takes f7. So here for Vidit, tough one. Do you play rook d1 check? I like rook d2. It's less forcing because you're not giving a check, but you're hitting b2 and threatening a3. Let's not forget about that little pawn push.
And Magnus is Magnus, but with 15 seconds left, defending an endgame that has so many moving parts is really difficult. There's b2, there's f2 that's hanging, and if black captures it with a rook, then he sets up the possibility of a discovered check against white's king. Vidit doing a great job here, pausing, understanding, yes, I have a big choice, and let's see what he ends up choosing. He's now down under a minute himself, and your clock ticks a lot faster when you're facing Magnus Carlsen. Rook f4, blundering rook d1 and bishop c7.
And Vidit recently, this is the first win of the match for Vidit Gujrati. We have a 1.5 tie. Danya, that was good conversion from Vidit.
What a statement. What a statement in terms of the game,